Hey, what is up, y'all? Just want to actually talk a little bit about setting up an infinite streak in Marvel Contest of Champions. Right now, we're actually going to go ahead and take a look at the 3-star featured arena. This is actually going to be part of a series. I'm going to go ahead and do this arena as well as the 4-star basic and the 4 and 5-star featured, and then other arenas that are similar to those. I'm going to go ahead and cover those as well. And in the description, I'm going to go ahead and leave the instructions on what ways you can use to get the infinite streak as well. So you can go ahead and look at those. The video here is going to just show me going through and getting to the point where I feel comfortable with an infinite streak. It does not go all the way through my entire roster, and it is going to be sped up as well, so it's going to go pretty fast. If you want to sit around and actually watch and see how that works, fantastic. If you just want to get the instructions so you know what you can do, you can start your arena grind, go ahead and just head on down to the description below, take a look at that as well. And while you're here, if you like what you see, go ahead and give me a like, give me a share if you want to share this with other friends, other players, and if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification bell for when I send out any new videos. Alright, so first of all, with the arena for the 3-star featured, this is where you're going to be using the 2 and 3-star champions in your roster. Just as you can take a look as I scroll through the very first time, I've got a pretty big roster, but I went ahead and just did a streak using only my 2 stars just to see kind of how that worked and test out a couple of things. It's been a while since I've done anything other than using my maxed out 3 stars, so that kind of gave me a little bit of pointers and where to go and what to do and how I can help you guys out. So what we want to do when we're setting up our infinite streak in this arena is for the first 5 rounds, so while you're getting up to the 3 times multiplier, you're going to want to use basically any 3 champions of your choice. I typically recommend, especially while you're building up your roster, use any of the 2-star champs that you have that are pretty low ranked, maybe 110, maybe 220, something like that. Use your lowest few first, just to kind of build that up. Once you get to round 6 and you've got that 3 times multiplier going on, you're going to want to use any 3-star champions at rank 330 or higher, or any 3 2-star ranked champions at 220 or higher. Actually, reverse that. Your 3 stars should be at 220 or higher, and your 2 stars should be at 330 or higher. That way you're going to get any extra points. You're going to get a little bit more compared if you use lower ranks, for example. So just keep that in mind. When you're building up that streak for those 6 to 10 rounds, use some of your higher ones, but maybe save your best for the next couple of rounds. Right. So for rounds 11 through 15, this is where you're going to want to do some sandbagging. And what I mean by that is you're going to want to use any 2 3-star champions rank 2 or higher, and then 1 low-level 2-star, right? So probably like a 1-1 2-star you haven't put any effort into, just so that you can go ahead and use those fights. That's going to bring the overall IPI level of your opponents down. It should make those fights a little bit easier. So the 2 3-stars should do your actual fights with, and your 2-star, your low-level one, you should just go ahead and quit that fight right away so you don't waste any more time. Once you get to round 15, you actually have a choice of doing the same sandbagging approach, or you can go right into your top 3-star champions, right? So you want to use 3 3-star champions at rank 330 or higher for rounds 16 through 19. And again, maybe if you want to start that at 15, that should work out just fine. At 15, if you want to start that a little bit sooner, or if you have a deeper roster, you want to get into your better 3 stars a little bit faster. Once you've got to round 20, you will be fine with using any 3 stars at rank 220 or higher, or any 2 stars at rank 330 or higher. You might be able to get away with using a lower ranked 2-star. I probably wouldn't recommend it unless your roster is really low and you're just trying to squeeze every little bit out of the arena that you can, right, while you're still building that up. But as long as you have enough champions, just stick to your 2-star 330s and 3-star 220s or higher. Right now, there are going to be a couple of other ways that you can hit that streak. So it'll kind of be up to you and whether or not you have the roster size for it. So if you have a pretty big 3-star roster, so like again, I have a lot of 3-stars that are at 440, so I pretty much will only use those champions when I grind this arena, just because why not? You get more points than a 2-star when you're using a 3-star, and I have enough of them where I'm going to be able to get through quite a few milestones just even on the first pass. So if you have enough 3-stars, go ahead and use any of your low-ranked level 3-stars for rounds 1 through 5, and then at rounds 6 through 10, if you are still building up a pretty big roster and you have a bunch of 220s, go ahead and use 3 ranked 220s or higher during the round 6 to 10. Once you hit that round 11, again, go ahead and use the 330s, and again, if you still are building your roster, go ahead and use a low-ranked 2-star just for that sandbagging for those rounds so you can get through, get to the next round. 16 through 19, go ahead and use 3 ranked 330 or higher, and then rounds 220 or rounds 20 plus, again, any 3-star at rank 220 or higher, or any 2-star at rank 330 or higher. As well. So that's one way that you can actually get to the infinite streak using just your 3-stars. And again, as I show in my sped up video here, you can get to the infinite streak using only 2-stars. If you have a deep enough roster, go ahead and use all 330s. My 2-stars aren't quite to the point where I can squeeze out 19 rounds in one pass. I actually had to use all my 2-stars, get to a certain level, and then let them refresh, and I got back into it a couple of hours later. No big deal. So that's one way that I would do it. If you want to try the 2-star challenge just for fun, it allows you to practice a couple things. There's not as much stakes with it when you are using just your 2-stars. Again, there's some points to be had, but it's not like when you have your 4 and 5 stars where there's quite a bit more. So this allows you to kind of test out a couple of things, try out a few things, and just kind of improve on some of the skills that you want to improve on, such as like your intercepting, maybe you're still working on parrying or dexterity, or if you just want to get used to using a certain kind of champion, right? If you have them as a 2-star, then you can test out a couple different champions there, or even just your 3-stars as well. This is a pretty good arena for doing some testing like that, where the stakes just aren't that high. So you should be able to get to the infinite streak pretty easy, and it's pretty easy to hold on to that. It doesn't take a lot of resources to rank up your champs to the point where you can keep that infinite streak going. I do want to say that while you're still building your roster, so you're waiting to get a whole bunch of 3-stars at 440 and whatnot, then you're going to want to make sure that you give yourself some time with building that infinite streak. So if you have a small roster still and you want to get to that infinite streak, again, follow these exact same instructions, but you're probably not going to be able to get to the infinite streak in the first pass, right? You might only be able to get to, say, round 12 or round 13 before you run out of champions to use, and that's fine. Go ahead and just wait for that to refresh. Don't try to push any further, because it's going to get you more points and be less frustrating if you just use the champs that you have, let them refresh, and then come back later and use what you need to get to that infinite streak. And then once you're in the infinite streak, you're great. You're going to keep getting those points built up pretty quickly as well. And so now, as far as points are concerned, again, when you are using 2-stars, you're not going to get a whole bunch of points. Once you're at the 3 times multiplier and you're fighting champions that are 3-stars or just a higher PI than you, even as a 2-star, you're probably only looking at about 1,000 base points, maybe 900 on some of the later fights once you get into the easy rounds again, right? Then you multiply that by 3. So anywhere between 27 and 3,300 about for a 3-star at that arena, and that's not that great. Whereas your 4 or your 3-stars are going to get just a little bit more. You're looking at, I think, about a base of anywhere between 15 to 2100, and then add the multiplier there. So if you have the 3 stars, go ahead and use those over your 2 stars. Again, the 2 stars can be really helpful in just getting you to the point where you can get to your infinite streak, get that 3 times multiplier. Maybe you want to use just some 2 stars to get to your rank 11 and start throwing your 3 stars in, for example. Or if you just want to smash out a whole bunch of milestones all at once, then go ahead and use your entire roster that you can once you have a pretty big roster. But otherwise, I would recommend, if you can, if you're able to, go ahead and use that 3-star roster first and primarily, or use that primarily. Use your 2 stars to get you to the streak if you need to, then use your 3 stars almost exclusively, because you're just going to get more points. You're going to spend less time in the arena, and I think that that's going to benefit anybody, unless you just want to spend the entire day in arenas, which I don't know, maybe you do, maybe you don't, but I certainly want to spend as little time as possible in there. Now, one additional thing I'll say about getting some more points is, adjust your masteries. If you have the resources and you can, and you feel comfortable with using it, go ahead and get those suicide masteries unlocked, get them open, turn them on. You're going to be able to do quite a bit more damage. So those fights are going to go a lot faster, and your PI is going to be a little bit higher, and so you're going to get more points that way. That's going to help you get to those milestones a little bit quicker. It's going to help you spend a little bit less time, as long as the game doesn't lag and as long as there aren't any connection issues, right? Like, obviously you can't help those. So yeah, look at ways to set up your mastery to benefit your champs as far as damage output goes and as far as PI goes, because if you can get a high PI and lots of damage output, your fights are going to go faster and you're going to get more points for those fights. Right? Even your 2 stars are going to benefit quite a bit from a good mastery setup. Alright, yeah, so if you have any comments, if you have any questions, any concerns, or if something's just not quite clear even with my instructions, go ahead and hit me up on the Line app, or leave a comment below. Let me know what you liked, what you didn't like about that video. And again, there's a few more rounds left still to go on this, so if you want to hang out and just watch the sped up video, watch me get to that infinite streak, might even be beneficial just to fast forward to the end and see what that last fight is going to look like. I don't actually get into the fight, I just get to the point where I show you who it is against with my 2 stars. So you'll be able to see there that once you get to that round 20, I'm taking still 2 stars in, and it goes from fighting rank 3 or rank 4 3 stars to like rank 2 3 stars. So fights are going to be a lot easier. Thanks for watching if you've stuck around this far, and I hope you like this, and I hope this helps you out in your own grind. And we'll see you next time. Peace.